We are back, and we got a good one going on in the world of wrestling or entertainment services. I am Dave. For those of you who don't know, almost 10-year intellectual property attorney dealing with everything from patents to copyrights to trade secrets and, yep, trademarks. Now, we'll be looking at a few different superstars in the wrestling world that are looking to claim and protect their trademarks, which is again beneficial for them. I know a lot of times we talk about, I guess, the little guy or or in this case the wrestler, and the big guy, which is the corporation WWE and AEW, and okay, who owns what? Obviously, as the little guy, you want to own as much as possible so that you can benefit from it as much as possible. We'll take a look at a couple articles that again talked about how these wrestlers, which kudos to them, are filing for trademark protections for their wrestling name, for their stage name, which is great because now they can make money on the merchandise to the extent that they leave wrestling and like The Rock and like John Cena and go into movies and stuff like that. They still have their name that made them famous that they can take with them into these different avenues, and is not owned by the WWE or AEW. And I have to admit, man, my wrestling era was the 90s when you had The Rock, you had Stone Cold, you had Kane, Undertaker, Mick Foley, the Dudley Boys, the Hart Brothers. I think that was a golden era of wrestling. I'm not, when I saw the AEW, I'm like, what, they actually got a new wrestling league? So you guys have to let me know in the comment section. Number one, what was your greatest era of wrestling? Was it the 80s? Was it the 70s? Was it the 90s? Or was it this new age wrestling in the 2000s? Like I said, I grew up in the 90s, and that wrestling era was great. So I want to know from you guys in the comment section, what's your favorite wrestling era? And then let me know your favorite wrestler. I think that's going to be important just for us to have some fun. But let me share my screen really quickly because, again, I want to give you guys not only entertainment, but valuable information that you guys can take and apply in your real lives. And I think this is some great information, a great learning lesson. And ultimately, this trademark, this intellectual property, this stuff is important. It's a reason why the WWE and these organizations want to keep the trademark, the trademark names. But it's another reason why the talent, which in this case is the wrestler, also wants, to the extent that they can, keep these names. And again, I don't want to say I'm Robin Hood, but I want that small guy, I want the wrestler, I want the talent to be able to keep not only the trademark name, but be able to monetize off of it, whether it's via the merchandise or whether it's being able to take that stage name, if you will, and go into different arenas, whether it's movies, films, things like that, and still be able to monetize off of their name. So again, we're going to read this article, and I'm going to show you guys some tidbits of what you can do to continue to, again, get protection of whatever trademarks, in this case, whatever trademarks that you are looking to protect. So we're going to go through this article really quickly. AEW star files to trademark his in-ring name, which is great. This is hot off the press, June 29th, which is a couple days ago. Like I said, I didn't even know All Elite Wrestling was a thing, but apparently is a big thing. Let me know in the comment section if you like it compared to WWE or you like WWE better. It seems like WWE has been around for a long time. Vince McMahon and those boys. I don't think Vince McMahon even owns WWE anymore. But again, I've been out of the loop for a while. So AEW star Ray Phoenix. Again, let me know if you guys know Ray Phoenix. I'm not associated, or I'm not associated. I don't kind of follow the wrestling anymore, but it seems like this is a big name in wrestling. Ray Phoenix filed to trademark his in-ring name with the USPTO on June 26th for merchandising purposes and entertainment services. So that's great for him. So again, about a week ago, he filed to protect his name. Phoenix made his appearance, seems like a while ago, 5 years ago, on February 7th, 2019, and he is a one-time World Tag Team Champion and one-time World Trios Champion. So it seems like this guy has reached the pinnacle in a number of different areas of AEW. And I want to, and I'm gonna actually pull up his trademark really, really quickly. I want you. This is kind of the minimum that these kind of wrestling stars, or heck, just entertainers, should be filing for trademark protection. So as you can see here, you see Ray Phoenix. This is the name. And he has it. You should be filing your trademark to the extent that you want to protect your name as an entertainer in two categories, at the very least two categories. And that's class 25, which is clothing, because that's going to protect your merchandise, your hats, your clothes, your hoods, sweatshirts, t-shirts, your jogging pants. It's going to protect that merchandise that you can monetize off of, and not okay if it's owned by the actual organization or the company. In this case, AEW. Then now the AEW, when they go to those city tours, AEW can monetize off that name, or that essentially that merchandise is that's associated with the name. But in this case, Ray Phoenix is doing a great job because he has protected it in Class 25, which is clothing. Now he can monetize off his apparel, his merchandise when he go to these different cities as well as online. But number two, entertainment services. So again, whether it's wrestling, whether it's going to movies, participating in movies, think of John Cena, think of The Rock. Now he can also monetize off that name in the entertainment services away from wrestling. So at the very least, wrestlers, entertainers should definitely be trying to get ownership of their mark. I'm talking about the wrestler now. I'm not talking about the actual, the organization. You guys should be looking to file for protection of your name in the clothing category, which is class 25, as well as the entertainment services, which is class 41. So that's what he has done here. You see, I'm assuming the owner, the Mexa King brand is Ray Phoenix Company, which is great, out of California. And you can see there's a pending mark, so it still has to go through the process, but it looks like he's trying to protect it in class 25 and class 41, which is great for him. So kudos for him for doing it. Now let's go to the flip side, WWE, because this is what's going to happen if you guys don't protect your name. So I think the last article is great because it shows you how the actual wrestler was trying to protect his name, but to the extent that he didn't do that, this is typically what's going to happen, unfortunately. And I think this article illustrates this point great. So let's go up here. Details on WWE's original plan for Caesar, I think Psycho or Sokoa, a trademark. So it says the Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that WWE originally planned to use the name Caesar Sokoa, which they previously trademarked for Jacob Fatu. So it seems like Jacob Fatu is the talent. He's the wrestler, and his stage name originally was Caesar Sokoa, or they planned to introduce him as Caesar Sokoa, which WWE actually trademarked. And again, I think that's a big distinction because in the last case, we saw where the wrestler Ray Phoenix trademarked his name. And then in this article with the WWE, it's saying that the WWE trademarked the actual name that they were looking for the wrestler to be introduced as, Caesar Sokoa. So this is the important thing, because if you as a talent do not look to trademark your name, then I can guarantee you that the wrestler is going to, or the WWE or whatever organization is going to trademark your name. Now you're buying, you're going to get money for in-ring appearances, but you don't own the name. And the ownership of the trademark, the ownership of the IP is very important, so you can collect our merchandise. So to the extent that your wrestling career is over, you can use that stage name to participate in other films, entertainment, movies, and stuff like that. So let's go finish the article here. Obviously, with Fatu's debut last week, so it seems like this guy he's a new wrestler. He showed up under his real name instead. So it seems like he didn't use the name that the WWE trademark and looked for him to use. Caesar Sokoa was the first idea, but they changed their mind and let him keep the one they are most familiar with. So it seems like he had a big buzz for his personal name, Jacob Fatu. And the WWE, they actually did him a solid and they let him keep it, which is important. So now they let him keep his name, even though WWE still owns the trademark to the name Caesar Sokoa. They let this guy Jacob Fatu keep his name and be introduced under his name. So now Jacob Fatu needs to take that further step and trademark his name, because I would imagine that the WWE is going to try to trademark it. And if I'm Jacob Fatu, I'm like, no, I'm gonna keep my name. I'm gonna keep the IP associated with my name. So that's something that Jacob Fatu definitely needs to be doing. Let's go down here. The current regime, so it seems like it's a new regime compared to Vince McMahon. That was my guy, Vince McMahon, back in the day. Isn't as gung-ho about changing wrestlers' name as Vince McMahon. So it seems like Vince McMahon was okay with changing the name. This current regime isn't so much. McMahon wanted full ownership of the name and assurance that if the person left, they could use their WWE name elsewhere. See, that's crazy. The current regime will give new stage names to those starting out, but if you made your name elsewhere, they are unlikely to change it. So, man, this is big because they're pretty much saying, hey, If you made your name elsewhere, we're going to let you keep your name. And that's great for the wrestlers because now the wrestlers need to be thinking as they come in to WWE or AEW or any other of these wrestling leagues, they need to hopefully kind of create a buzz for themselves with their own name that they have trademarked so that when they come into this wrestling organization, now they can keep their name and hopefully they have trademarked their name so that they can get that buzz from it, get the money from it with the merchandise, and to the extent that they leave at some point, because we all know wrestling, similar to football and basketball, you're not going to last forever. You can still monetize off your name with the merchandise, with the appearances in films and TV shows. So again, hopefully you guys, especially wrestlers, but really any entertainer, you guys need to be thinking about, I need to protect my trademark because this is valuable IP that I can monetize off of it, not only in wrestling, via merchandise and apparel, but also outside of wrestling in entertainment services with movies and video games and other things. So again, I thought this was a very good kind of distinction where you had the AEW where the wrestler was able to file for the trademark, and then you had the WWE where the actual organization WWE tried to protect his name and try to essentially keep ownership and keep rights to the name. So this is that kind of battle that you have to play. But I can tell you as an IP attorney, intellectual property attorney, you need to be kind of really vigilant about protecting that IP to the extent that you can as a wrestler, because it's going to give you leverage and you're going to be able to make a ton of money. So again, let me know, as I said earlier, what era do you think is best? I like the 90s personally. Let me know what's your favorite wrestler. What do you think about the AEW? I'm a big WWE. I'm not sure. I was a big WWE guy as I was coming up, but I don't follow kind of wrestling as much these days. But I thought this was still still good to talk about and trying to provide value to you guys. A shout out to The Rock, shout out to Stone Cold, those old wrestlers that I grew up loving and watching. And let me know in the comments what you think about this stuff. Hit the like button as well as hit the subscribe button if you enjoy this type of content. Again, I'm trying to bring you guys these current events, and this was the latest in the news that I thought that you guys can get some value out of it. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you enjoy this type of content, and I'll see you guys next time. All right, peace.